Hi, this is Vivian Alavina. Hope you're well. I haven't made a YouTube video in a while. I apologise for the ambience here. I want it this way. It's on purpose because it's evening and obviously this is kind of like a chilled out zone. So yeah, if you have an issue with it, that's your problem, not mine. But then I don't need to sound rude. I've had a hard day. I usually do most of my recordings on TikTok because there's so many more options. I'm not saying YouTube's bad. I've used it before. Obviously, it's kind of started me off, you know, from where I wanted to go basically. So I came from very, very humble beginnings. From I think my daughter was 1 year old. We were in an emergency accommodation, so it came a long way. I remember pushing the buggy and so on, so it's yeah, we've come so far at the moment. Still got a long way to go, and we'll just see what the future holds for us. The reason I'm on YouTube today, not TikTok, is because I probably need to speak a lot more. I think beyond 10 minutes, to be honest with you. And yeah, I've got a lot of issues. So if it's below 10 minutes, so be it. But just in case it goes past 10 minutes, so be it. I don't have to worry about anything else. I'll let the TikTokers know as well that I'm on YouTube and probably other platforms too. So don't worry. I always try my best to update everyone. But you always explore something new all the time. The people that know me will know anyway, who search for me know I've got updates and so on. It's been crazy for me because there's just been so many things I've been dealing with. My personal life and dealing with changes and so on. My daughter growing up, me growing a business, and where to go next and so on. So there's a lot of decision making. My friend who's died recently of terminal cancer, I haven't been feeling the same, to be honest with you, but I'm not the one to be overtly emotional all the time. It's affected me a bit. And so I've at times had to put a brave face, you know, without looking so hysterical. Everyone's got a different way of grieving, so I respect each individual. They've got their way, you know, grieving, and I do feel sad. Sometimes I just need to deal with it in the best way I can, you know. I'm just concerned about what's going on in the UK at the moment. I'm not really happy at all. What's going on in the streets, with the English van being manipulated to scare people, not to embrace England or English culture. I remember the days of the far right, where they weaponised it to scare people, to let their presence be known. I was actually a very young girl when it happened, and then the changes in British society started happening. Then we had the Olympics, so everyone started embracing the Union Jack, embracing the English flag. It's like the narrative changed, you know, from probably the 90s going to the noughties and so on, you know, till the 2012 Olympics in London. So correct me if I'm wrong with the numbers, I'm just really tired now. I think it's 2012. I did go to the Olympic Stadium actually twice, and actually after that I worked there, so I went all around. So, but not well, I was actually a spectator when it opened. So but now a lot of things are slowly changing. It's like regressing. It's sad. I'm just going to mention there's a lot of fake bots out there, celebrity fake bots of public figures. You have to be very careful. Perhaps there are a few that don't have the tick and so on. I wouldn't go out of my way to search for them either, but I'll just let you know there's a lot of fake accounts. But the people have been scammed from, departing with money and so on, but also mentally and emotionally. These are things you need to be aware of. It's not just like celebrity scam, public figure scams, there's phone scams as well. There's link scams that is linked to email and it looks legit, it's not legit, and people click onto the link and it's hellfire. So you just be careful. I think there are like sites you can read up on these things. I can't give that education in detail today because that's not the topic, but you just need to be aware of the cybercrime and scamming and so on. I'm concerned about the youth in the UK at the moment. It just seems they've gone AWOL, and they know no human rights, so that's another thing. So it's just, in the UK now, I think elders are between the devil and the deep blue sea. We don't do anymore because the rights we used to have, we don't have much anymore. And now I see my daughter's 5 years old and see these young kids with all these weapons and been exploited. And so I'm not going to talk about immigration. I'm not saying immigrants, but I think any man in general, because I don't know. It's just I'm not my daughter, so I'm here. God forbid I go, but I hope she goes in good hands. Don't let go of her. I mean, things happen to people, families and so on. I wouldn't judge the parents. It's very hard living in the UK. It's not the same. And I'm not to be too overcritical of the UK, but you don't have that kind of solid family structure because, once you reach your first cousin, that's it. But my culture, we've got the second cousin, we've got the third cousin, we've got the fourth cousin, so it's pretty much inside. It's not incestuous, but I mean, in my culture, it's not uncommon for us to marry our second or third, fourth cousin, but it's not common we do that because we'd rather be that someone is out of our family bloodline. Really, there's only been about 2 or 3 marriages, but I'm oversharing, but that's the truth. I think legally in the UK you can marry first cousin. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, they have changed the law, but in Islam, I'm not Muslim, but in Islam you can marry first cousin. I think it's not to be frowned upon, although in most cultures it may be an issue, but it's legal in some countries and completely normal in some cultures and religions. But this is kind of common thing. My great aunts, they were child brides as well. This is kind of normal back in the days. Once you start menstruating and your head's right, you're physically right, they just don't marry you off once you reach a period. No, you have to have your head right. You got to be trained properly. You got your head on you. You got to have physically be fit before they marry you off. The elders don't see that. They just don't marry you off. They just leave you until you mature or grow. I'm not defending Islam because I was speaking that time back in the days before they put red tape and so on. But you can say it's yucky, it's paedophilia and all that. But back then they didn't see it that way, and they didn't deal with it the same way. They didn't have these rigid laws. So I'm not for that. I've got nieces. At 11 they look like they can't get married. They can't be let alone intimate or carry a kid. Because their body looked like they could have miscarried in a few 2 weeks of it. Each each woman's body is different as well. I wouldn't even promote that. After the kids these days need to grow up a bit when they start like that. I look at them as no. For most of them anyway. Need to develop a bit more, even psychologically as well, develop spiritually. So is what it is. People dealt with things differently. And please, I don't promote or anything, child marriages and all that. I prefer my daughter to have an education, be someone, you know, make something of her life, experience life, travel, you know, see new culture and different people. So before she make that kind of decision to marry, that's how I see it. I'm a modern woman as well, but I can understand history as well. I'm very, very broad-minded, so don't get me wrong in that sense. Now, I was thinking, like, my daughter, when things are going in the UK, I'm giving them a chance, like, clean up the streets. It's ridiculous what the people are doing, getting away with, you know. It's like people just get away with mega crime. I'm not happy with. I'm worried about my daughter's future. I'm worried about the government cuts because of special needs. I'm worried that she's not going to expand and let me challenged in a way to grow and develop and be stronger and learn and be more social. I just feel that people are anxious in the UK. They worry about the streets, they worry about education. If the kids are educated enough, if they've got enough freedom to, you know, like, grow socially. Like, some parents that don't want their kids out, obviously for obvious reasons. So you can hear this, you read the news, read the papers, you know, newspapers and all that. You watch the news and so on. You can see for yourself why people are anxious when they have to look after children, whether the parent or a guardian. So I'm just like, I'm worried about my daughter, and I don't know. It's like I don't want to be too critical. I've been very critical these past days. I'm just thinking maybe my daughter should go to where my parents were born for a few months and see what's like. Maybe myself, including myself, of course, to go there and test the waters. I know what it's like there. I've lived there. Funny enough, when I was 5 years old, I was bilingual, and I was what do you call it? What do you call it? Double boots? Whatever you call it. Yeah, I was kind of special needs, and I don't know. I would like to know what it'd be like, but now the laws of the UK, I don't know what they would do. They'd allow that for her to go for a bit, come back. There's something I need to look into. I'm sure she's definitely welcomed in that country in question, but it's just a matter of knowing and so on. Because if I cut her off for 6 months, obviously she'll lose her educational place. So, and if they did keep her, I will keep the place. There'll be an agitation because probably have a waiting list as well. So it's quite a bit like. That's something I need to think about. Either just cut her off of school for now, have it online studies, study with a vocation, or try and get that home. But then again, there'll be an answer of gritted teeth if they said yes. So I can understand that. It's something I need to think about. Or just break down the travels. That's something I need to think about. I need to look at her own well-being and what's best for her, because you do need to expand and maybe, you know, going somewhere else and experiencing a place will probably be helpful. She might, you know, don't like everything in another country, but perhaps because if I was able to be bilingual while I was there at 5, despite my disability, it might be something there. I don't know. You just wait. Que sera, sera. At the end of the day, you can predict these things. I'm just keeping up with technology. I've got a lot of things to deal with, and I just hope you guys visit my website and purchase my products, read my stuff, look at other things that are available that are free, you know. And I'm thinking of probably I've got a lot of other projects, but I don't want to go, I don't want to jinx it, but you know, I run a business, so that's like there already. I've got 2 websites you can look at. I'll put my link tree below so you can see for yourself. today is not just about marketing, advertising. I would like to do that a bit more, but please visit and see for yourself. I look a little bit tired, but because I am tired, and I don't know what's giving me the strength really to do this broadcast. But I'll be doing other things as well, but I'll give you an update. I would like to use YouTube a bit more, but not just TikTok. So yeah, I hope I can do that a bit more now and in the future. And it does bring me good memories, because I remember I was filming, I was emergency accommodation, reading the cards, moving out, pushing my buggy, just expressing myself. And now I'm still on this journey. I don't know where I want to go. So I'm a bit like a quasi-nomad in a way. You just never know what can happen. But I don't have that. I mean, I have responsibilities and so on. So, but I gotta say, I just got to each day as it comes. You know, I've been tarot reading. I have been tarot a bit. That's a lie. A bit, not as much as I was before. Because I want, pardon me, I'm stuck in my throat. I want to pace myself, so I like to do a bit more of that at some point. Some other stuff as well. So there. Also, if you guys are on my TikTok as well, I've posted a lot of things, issues I've had. I've experienced racism, what a lie. But just look at my TikTok and see. I can't talk about it right now because I think for many people of colour it's an emotional topic. White empaths, yes, it could affect you a lot, you know. But I don't really want to talk about it now. And I just feel like in the zone to just try to deliver the truth and send a positive message and try to speak my heart out with that unscripted, you know. So, and just be authentic. And also I wanted to mention about Elon Musk. I'm not like using him for publicity or anything, don't get me wrong. It was just, he just popped out and followed me out of the blue, this Elon Musk. So, you know, I looked at his post and I liked it. It's all very techie, innovative. Not big too much on the rockets, but I can understand the technical sides. But actually he reached out to me to see if I was okay. But yeah, just a polite conversation and so on. Very gentleman, down to earth. Seems kind, but I won't use the word kind. I'm not saying he's not kind, I don't know him, but seems kind, I'll say. Okay, and I don't want to denigrate his character. Don't really know him in person. Never met him in person. But this, in terms of the feel of the online vibe, it seems a bit like real in a way. But it might not be him. It could be a bot. It emulated his personality and so on. It gets a little bit creepy. You know, these bots, they can actually be you in a way. It's like they can replicate your personality and so on, and in fact, it's not like and pretend to be you. That it's not. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I extend. I put all this on TikTok. I really don't want to go into detail. Watch you on TikTok. There's a part 1 and part 2. Okay, I didn't read tarot reading on Elon because I read the tarot reading who's running his bots, but the tarot said it's someone who's got wealth, who's put money into making these bots. It's like a farm or something. I can sense it's a farm and some guy is putting money in and running it. I'm not saying it's Elon, but there's someone there somehow. So it got a bit funny in our conversation when I transferred to the WhatsApp. He seemed very safe, but not my WhatsApp, but like a burner WhatsApp. and it seemed safe until a certain extent when the voice notes got a bit funny. So I feel like there's something like real, but not then again it's not real. And this bot turned on me saying, you can read it all on the, I got I screenshot the script, so it's on the TikTok. Go to my TikTok and you see it for yourself. What I can say, I'm gonna just be very polite. At the end, when I ended, I was upset, and I said something so I didn't really mean it, but I was upset because it just seems like it's time to like a little bit of nightmare with the voice notes and so on. So what's going crazy? But no, I didn't want his billions. I don't want his babies. I don't know him. And if I've met him in person, would I fancy him? I don't know. I'm very realistic, I said before on my TikTok, I really don't want really to have children on my own right now because of medical issues and so on. After having my daughter during COVID, a lot happened in hospital. They had to stitch me up and so on. I was bleeding heavily. It's not, and I personally don't want anymore. I don't want. Before I had my daughter, I thought I was going to have any more kids anyway. So she kind of come out of the blue in a relationship. I don't want to talk about my previous relationship, but some people may know, follow me. It's not mean up and down, it was hot and cold, It was on and off, it's not really stable. It was a long-term relationship, but it's not really like stable. We had arguments a lot, but I don't want to talk about it too much. I'll maybe talk about it another time. It got really bad though. I'll talk about relationships but another time. I'll fragment it. But it didn't work out. And then after I broke up with my ex-partner, tried everything. I tried to get back with him before, years ago. Didn't work out. Sometimes things are just not meant to be, And then there was a child support and child arrangements and all that. It fractured last year. I don't want to talk about that. It was alright. I met him abroad. It was alright, but then he was on holiday too. He's a UK citizen, but I don't want to talk about it. It was really bad. The argument was so bad. It's just I really can't speak about it. I mean, before, like I said before, I had my daughter. I wanted to foster children. While I studied at university, I wanted to foster. I actually was trying to apply with the Lewisham Council near London to foster some babies and so on. While studying, because I study. The babies were like 48-hour things, so they'll probably stay overnight because I had my studies in the afternoon. So I'll just give them away kind of thing, because my studies will be like allocated because they'll have a timetables. Social service will have to say, but I'll have my timetable because they'll I didn't study, go to university every single day. You know what I mean? It'll be certain times. So obviously I could keep a car charge for 48 hours. Do you know what I mean? So it was, I've got the weekends as well. I don't go to uni, so it was, you can do it. I couldn't, I was able to do it, but I had to go in the training course. Obviously, I understand why. See if I'm the right candidate. They approved me to be a foster parent. But they had to go. They proved me, and I had to do assessments and all that. Done at Southwark, I think. I can't go. I think I went further with Lewisham Council. Bear with me for a minute. I just need to change this and put it back. Something happened there. You see, I'm just gonna switch this off. I don't happen there. Anyway, let me check this one. Let's switch it off. It's fine. But anyway, yeah, fine, put it on. I think I went through more of a process, the application with Lewisham Council and Southwark. I made them aware I was interested, but the only problem I had to go to the course. It was like a 12-week course, but I think I was swayed by my other hater sister not to do it. She's gonna beat me up after this probably, but she said don't do it, and I can't tell you the reasons why, I don't want to offend anyone, but I wasn't moved by it, but I was like, oh, she was just saying the point is you don't want this pressure away studying or anything. Baby mama coming into your door and all that, because they probably have certain rights. You don't want to have the baby father who could be like a jailbird or something. Stuff like that. I don't want to go into much detail because I don't want to insult. I don't think people, if they can, they should foster. I regret it. I deeply regret it. You know, not know what it's like. You know, it's just kind of, you know, something you what if now. But it's not a big what if, like I'm crying at night and like, oh my God, what I've done my life. It's just like, it's a little bit of a mini what if, you know. I can't talk about adoptions, let alone I haven't fostered now, let alone adoption. I can't speak about that. But I think with, the men I was in the serious relationship, I did speak about it, and two of them are okay with it, you know. So even adoption was we discussed, but when you look after a child, it's a big, huge responsibility, not just on yourself, it's the world as well, at large. It's extremely hard looking after a child. They're having so many children. My family have, like my aunts have so many children, my uncles have so many children. Like the old school ones, they have so many children. So it can be very tough. I've seen a lot of ups and downs and so on. So that's why, you know, I did say to myself, yeah, I'll have children, but not the Waltons. You know, not the Waltons. Not like Elon Musk. I don't know how you juggle work and all these babies and all these grown-up kids, but no, it's their own. You know, if you love that, so be it. It's just like, I don't hate having children. I want to have children, but not like 12 plus or anything like that. Maybe up to 3. You know, I'm pouring my heart out. But yeah, us going back to Elon Musk. Yeah, I didn't do any tarot reading on him. You know, he's a complicated guy, to be honest with you. If I was to fancy him in any way, shape or form, it will take time for you to get to know him very well. You know, because it's so complicated. He's a I've never seen a billionaire like that before. I'm sure he's a billionaire, a person like that before, with or engineer, whatever you want to call him. I shouldn't go by his wealth and all that. It's just very superficial. But yeah, a CEO, whatever. He's got so many titles, but a person, always a person. He's quite a complicated character. So if I was to date someone like Elon Musk, you know, it will take time to know him. He's got like, I feel his brain, he's got so many things going on. It's all everywhere. It's like, but it's like wires everywhere. It will take time to just fathom a lot of things out, you know. Just make you think it would be on your toes all the time, you know. So, it's what it is. But I'm just thinking of the world at the moment, the state of the world. My dad always told me that there'll be other planets, humans being go to. I thought, before I even knew, I think I was 7, he said one day humans will go to the moon, will travel to the moon, other planets, probably live there. You know, he said all of that. I don't know if it's a premonition, but he did say this is possible. And I'm thinking, he probably having a crazy day, or he drank too much spirit with his friends in the pub, I don't know, but he did see that viable somehow. Looking at it now as my grown-up self, it's not impossible to live on another planet if there's oxygen for human beings. There's obviously soil, obviously an atmosphere that will protect human beings. There's breeze, obviously circulating. There's oxygen, don't I? Silly me. Earth, we need to grow food. You know, need water, definitely. Earth, water, fire, obviously equipment, tools, you know, just we need fire. It's dangerous element of the earth here, let alone other planets, but we do need it. It does serve a purpose, so it can be negative as well. But if they can find all of that, human beings can live somewhere else. It's possible. But if you want to do space travel like the celebrity ladies done this year, it's possible. I think it'll be possible one day. You know, so yeah, never say never. But it takes time, you know, to discover first. I will say about the colonizers as well. I don't want to talk too much about colonizers. Colonizers were actually kind of, some of them were actually settled where they wanted to colonize first before colonize. They just come with their fucking guns and you know, their equipment and their dogs and so on, their, you know, other wild animals to take land and all that and to oppress people. They were there. I'm sure they were there, some of them, or they were spying somewhere. If they were not on land, they were somewhere somehow, or they paid for paid spies to spy that were on land, no native. They knew, they must have known something before they were invade. So they must have known the terrain of the country they wanted to invade, the people, what they do, their habits, their rituals, you know, what they like and so on, to manipulate them into subjugation or force them. Obviously, most of the time it's been forced by, you know, artillery and so on and threats. Okay, so there's that. But there's an exploration stage, isn't there? Peter, as a marine biologist, he's go inside and see what's going on before they even make any conclusions. Same with business, you need to do pilot tests and see if you've got a market and so on. You've got customers, how you expand and so on. You can never predict risk or, you know, low sales and so on. This is, you have to go with the flow, you know, even with colonizing or occupying space, you know, people and vegetation and so on, you know, still like have to check all of those elements, not the elements I mentioned, the 4 elements, but other factors. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit tired now, and yeah, I hope to do another YouTube again. The ambience has changed a bit because the colours and so on. I kind of like it. Some viewers may not like it. Everyone each their own. This is actually in a while since I've spoke this long, more than 10 minutes, and broadcasting on YouTube. Anyway, take care of yourself, stay safe, love each other, no matter what. Yeah. God bless. Bye.